Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Daily Racing Form YouTube. I'm Gino Buccola alongside Mike Beer with producer Lucia helping us out this week. Mike, it's an important time of the year right now because we have a Memorial Day sale. And when you think about the racing meets that are getting started, right, we're going to have Saratoga starting up really soon. We're going to have Del Mar in the summer. And for me, I need a lot of help with the clocker reports. So I like to go purchase when they have sales right away. I know I'm going to be using those clocker reports when the baby races are coming out. So take advantage right now. Use that coupon code MEMD25 for the Memorial Day sale. Take 15% off of everything. Mike, the Saturday race of the day is the cliffhanger over at Monmouth Park. That was an interesting group here. We have nine, I think, with speediness in the body, and then a couple of horses towards the outside that are main track only runners. Looking at this field, thought horse like Signator is just in good form right now. His turf form has been really solid. You have horses who have kind of been in this race the last couple of years, horses who ran like 2, 3, 4 in here. So solid group. I think a group that fits at this level. No real monsters, nobody that really scares the heck out of you here. I thought it was an interesting betting group.
Yeah, great. More than anything else, it's just kind of like a well-matched field. And, I agree with you. There's just no standout in the race. So I guess you could look at that one of two ways. If you like somebody who's, going to be one of the shorter prices, you can think, well, they're just in a really good spot here. You don't have to be afraid of anybody. Or you could just sort of flip that and say, if you wanted one of the sort of outsiders on paper, you could say this could be a really good spot for a horse to jump up and get a stakes win against a field that's just not that strong.
Remember, every race of the day, you can get free past performances at DRF.com. Let's take a look at the Timeform US pace projector for this one. How does this thing shape up? Now, that's where I thought the race is interesting. I didn't see that many horses who want to be on the lead. You have a couple of horses who are pressers who want to be forward, like Forever Super, but I don't think they're going to be less necessarily lining up on the front end here, Mike.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that too. I mean, I didn't see a ton of pace in this race. More than anything else, it just seems like there's a bunch of tactical horses in here
Yep.
who just sort of want to be forward but don't want to be too far away. I mean, if you look at that pace projector, the 7 Otago is last. He's not a closer. So it's not like the kind of situation where you feel like he's going to be badly compromised in here. If nothing else, I thought Signator was the horse that could be most compromised if this pace doesn't get fast, because I do think he's a closer.
And we'll talk about Signator right now as we meet the field for this one, the cliffhanger. It's a $100,000 stakes race. I mean, he gets a pretty good trip in this race, honestly, for a horse with his running style. Like, he doesn't have a lot of traffic. He's kind of sitting mid-pack, waiting for things to open up. The field kind of opens up here for him. He's able to tip to the outside, and he gets the jump on the 3, Fulmineo, who actually ran pretty well, was just behind Signator and couldn't quite get to him late.
Yeah, exactly. That horse, the horse that winds up running 30 was also off the layoff here, maybe just prepping. Yeah, Signator, listen, Gino, you're right. I thought he got a perfect trip in this race. He still ran pretty well. He's a horse, I always liked him on dirt, even though he ultimately never really delivered on that surface. He ran some good races, but he just never panned out for whatever reason. He got a perfect trip. He won there. He had another perfect trip at Tampa. They went really fast in front of him, and he came running, but he is 2 for 2 on the grass. I'm a fan of his. I wouldn't take too short a price on him in this race, but I think he can win.
It feels like we have very similar thoughts on him. I was kind of a fan of his early on the dirt. It just sort of shows you that, like, in horse racing, it's never really linear, right? The
Yeah.
trajectory of horses' careers. Sometimes you'll win a couple races, you'll think that you're going to be this really good dirt horse, and then you kind of tail off for a while. Maybe he's going to be a really nice grass horse. 2 for 2 so far, and he got a stakes win last time out. Highest distinction is the next one, Mike. He's a grade 3 winner. He got really good towards the end of 2023. He rattled off 4 wins in a row. But he's 0 for 4 in his last 4 grass races. Most recently, he was on the synthetic a couple different times, so he gets back to the grass. I mean, he certainly has races that are good enough to beat a field like this, but he's just not in his best current form.
Yeah, in my opinion, he's just the toughest call in the race, because
Yep.
that if he can somehow get back to the 2023 form that he got into when they switched him to this trainer, he could easily beat this field, Gino. I don't know. He didn't really get a campaign going last year. Only 4
Mm-hmm.
starts last year as a 7-year-old. He was terrible off the layoff. But he sort of got gradually better after that, I thought. And the 2 starts so far this year on a totally different surface. I don't know. I just thought he was a real wild card. If he takes money in here, I'm not interested, but I can see this horse getting lost in the shuffle. And if he's some kind of big price, I'm using him.
I completely agree. He's one of those horses that you want to take a wait and see approach on the price, because
Yeah.
you just don't want to play this horse at too short of a price. But these are the types of horses, Mike, that they can jump up and win. And I think those are the types of horses that you and I are looking for to bet a lot of the time, right? Ones that may have a little bit of the muddied up form, but that their ceiling is high enough when the day is right. There Are No Words was actually the runner up in this race last year. And based on speed figures, he fits fine. but he's another who just hasn't won in a while. He hasn't won since 2023. So now he's 0 for the last 7. He has 8 runner-up tries with just the 4 wins overall. So we know a horse that doesn't mind settling for some of the minor awards. And then on top of that, he has to deal with a 7+ month layoff in here.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's rock solid, this horse. And what I like about him is how consistent he is. He just always shows up, and he's got a great running style. He could easily make the lead in this race if the pace isn't fast. I mean, these are all positives. He's also, he's pure gold who's in this field, has had his number for the last couple of years. He's been behind highest distinction a couple of times. He just doesn't win that often, but he always shows up and runs his race.
I'm kind of curious on the 4 Belouni. I just don't know how good this horse is, Mike. Honestly, he makes his second start back after 9 months off. His win was solid. It was well measured. He didn't get a really high buyer speed figure or anything for it, but it was solid. It was kind of what you're looking for coming back off the bench. It seemed like when they put him in races against tougher horses, he was always overmatched a little bit, and he just didn't even get bet in some of those races earlier on in his career. He did have some fine races in 2024 that would stack up with this group. He was one of the tougher reads in here for me. I think maybe because I just assume based on the connections, he's going to get bet.
Yeah, I think that's the real problem too. Because you're right. I mean, ultimately, he's just not that good. And because he goes out for Chad Brown, you're not going to get probably the price that you're supposed to get on a horse with his running lines. Is he overmatched by these horses? No. But is he, some kind of horse who is as likely to win as some of the others? I don't think that he is.
Yeah.
He was fine last time. He didn't really do anything for me as far as that race goes. I know he can run better than that, Gino, but it doesn't feel like he's going to be a good enough price to get me interested.
Horse who's interesting to me, just based on what price he might be, is the 5 Forever Super. I'm curious on how he gets bet because he didn't get a really great trip. I mean, he didn't really show anything in his last start, but it wasn't the type of trip he's looking for. He was way out of it. He was 6th of 8th. He was about 6 lengths off. He was very, very wide, like at least 3 wide. He's now going to go 3rd start of the form cycle. If you just go to his race at Tampa 2 starts back, that's a pretty good effort. And that was his first start in a few months when he was right behind Crystal Quest, who came back to run 5th in a pretty tough edition of the dinner party on the weekend at Pimlico. Even the 3rd place finisher in that race came back and ran well. So I know he has some races that are good enough. I just want to see stylistically, I want to see them more aggressive with him. I want to see him much closer to the pace than he was last time out. I think that would be his chance to run a good race in here.
I think he will be too, Gene. I think you're right last time. Maybe a little too far away, sitting on the outside. Also, the horse that won that race is really, really good. Listen, that wasn't his best performance last time. You can sort of go back to any one of his prior 6 or 7. Those races are going to give him a real chance in here. And I do think he's going to get a better trip.
Awfully Cool is a horse who was a stakes winner on the dirt. The main track form is pretty solid, but just 2 turf races and not as fast on the buyer speed figures when you talk about those grass races. But I mean, they were a long time ago and much earlier on in his career. He's probably a lot better horse now. Do you think he can transfer that over to the grass?
I mean, I guess he could. We'll see. He's not my kind of horse, Gino. I just think he's a better dirt horse than he is on turf. And I'll be interested to see if they leave him in this race if it does stay on the grass, because it feels like he's pretty good on a wet track too. And I just thought maybe he was entered here. This race comes off, he'll have a good post position. He'll be way tougher.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I think he might have been a horse who was hoping that this race comes off the grass. Otago had a fine start last time out. He was in that race with Data Man. 2 starts back, he was behind Forever Super. His overall form is fine. I just think he may be a couple low, some of the top in here. Can you build a case for him, Mike?
Yeah, I'm wondering. I don't think you're wrong to think that he could be a couple low here. The flip side of that, Gino, is I just remember really liking this horse when he was a 3-year-old. He had that stakes win down at Tampa. I just thought he ran really, really well to win that race. And then, he just did he improve last year? He did. Maybe he didn't improve quite enough, but I feel like the longer I looked at him, man, did he get he landed in some bad races, first of all. I don't know why they sprinted him at Kentucky Downs. I don't care about that race. His race at Hawthorne at the end of the year, I just feel like he got a really sort of deceptively bad trip in that race. And I think he ran way better than it looks in there. And then he's off the layoff in that Forever Super race at Tampa. He's bothered by a loose horse early in that race, and he just winds up way back in the pack and wide. I feel like he ran okay that day too. And I liked his last start. I think this horse is interested in here at a big price.
And what I found about him too. Sometimes us as gamblers, after horses have like one or two races where they don't finish well, you kind of dismiss them. If you can get and make excuses for those races, and I think you can, as you were pointing out, like the Kentucky race, I think you could put a line right through it. Then the yielding turf race at Hawthorne, could probably eliminate that. He probably needed the race at Tampa on a good turf course too. And then he ran pretty well last time at Laurel Park.
He
So if
did.
you can sort of go race by race and make those excuses, this could be another one of those horses. Like if he's a price, he's not far off what it would be to beat a group like this. So make sure the price is there, but he's not completely out of this thing. He's pure gold. Comes into this race off a 6.5 month layoff. He is a multiple stakes winner, though, who has won a couple times in starts like this, where it was making his first start of the year. You think he can stack up with this group?
Yeah, he fits really well in this race. I mean, there's really, I think it's all kind of right there on paper with him. He's another one. He's really consistent. He's got really good tactical speed. So I can see him getting a nice trip in this race. He was in a little bit too tough the last time we saw him at the end of last year at Aqueduct. We'll see if he's ready off the layoff. If he is, he's a major player in here.
Rounding out the field is Fulmineo. This is in the body of the field. We saw him running third in that race with replay with Signator. And as you were pointing out, Mike, this was his first start since September. It was also his first start as a 4-year-old. He was kind of shuffled back a little bit. He was just farther back than Signator, and Signator got the jump on this one. But if I was taking horses out of that race, Signator got a perfect trip. I also think Fulmineo's second start as a 4-year-old can improve. Like, I like him a little bit more. I think he'll be a better price, and I'm not really concerned as much about the post position because I think with his running style, he's probably going to drop back towards the back anyways and make one late run. I don't think he's going to be getting hooked wide all that much. He makes a lot of sense in this race for me, and I think he could be fair value.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he's a newly turned 4-year-old too, so you just feel like maybe there's a forward move coming here sooner rather than later. I did sort of feel like when I watched that Henry Clark back last time, I just sort of felt like maybe they were prepping him. They sort of let him fall so far out of it. He got a great closer's trip in there, never lost any ground, but he did come running at the end of the race, and now maybe he's set to move forward off of it. I really did like him as a 3-year-old too, Gina. I mean, we're going to get the picks up there in a minute. I don't have him in there, but I easily could have thrown him in.
Yeah, this was a challenging race. It was a really fun betting race, too. I think you can go in a lot of different directions, Mike. So let's pull up the selections for this one. You're going to put the 7 horse on top. I mean, you look, we have different horses in here, but we were making cases for that one. I think there are going to be a lot of playable horses in here at their prices.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we have a couple of the same ones in there. I just wanted to try somebody at a bigger price, and I do think Otago is going to be a bigger price in here. Listen, I'm just taking the position that he's a little bit dirtied up. And is better than he looks on paper, third off the layoff. I wanted a price in this race. He's the price that I took. I also have the 2 in their highest distinction. Who knows if he can run anymore, but if he can still run, he can beat this field.
Yeah, the horses to me that might be playable would be either the 5 or the 9 based on their prices, and their running styles are completely different, right?
Yeah.
The 5 would be more forwardly placed, but from a value-based standpoint, I think either one of them might be able to offer some value. And there's going to be 1 or 2 horses in this race that kind of fall through the cracks. So this might be a really good race to just watch with 10 minutes to post and see, okay, who is the overlay right now? That might be where I want to put a few bucks. Whoever you play, however you play them, we wish you the best of luck in the Saturday race of the day.